में 9/11 के बाद पाकिस्तान और अफगानिस्तान में दहशत गर्दी का एक नया सिलसिला शुरू हुआ, जिसने दोनों ममालिक में हजारों अफराद की जानें ली हैं। गुज़िश्ता 10 साल के दौरान मुबैना तौर पर कीमियाई हथियारों का भी इस्तेमाल किया गया है, जिससे दोनों ममालिक के अवाम मोहलिक अमराज का शिकार हो रहे हैं। इस बारे में पेशावर में डॉन न्यूज़ के ब्यूरो चीफ ज़ाहिर शाह शिराजी ने काबुल में डॉक्टर दाऊद मीराकई से खुसूसी बातचीत की है। आइए देखते हैं।
9/11 के वाक़यात के बाद पाकिस्तान और अफ़गानिस्तान दुनिया के ऐसे ममालिक हैं जो सबसे ज़्यादा मुतासिर हुए हैं जंग से, और ख़ास तौर पर पाकिस्तान और अफ़गानिस्तान में जो पश्तून बेल्ट है वो सबसे ज़्यादा मुतासिर होने वाली जो है बेल्ट है। यहाँ हम बात करेंगे जो हथियार इस्तेमाल हुए यहाँ पर अफ़गानिस्तान में जंग के दौरान, उसके बारे में हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं एक अफ़गान एक्टिविस्ट और रिसर्चर डॉक्टर मोहम्मद दाऊद मीराकई। वो कुछ बताएंगे हमें कि इस इलाके में किस किस्म के हथियार इस्तेमाल किए हैं अमेरिकन फोर्सेस ने, और क्या क्या नुकसानात जो हैं वो दरपेश हैं, या क्या क्या नुकसानात हुए हैं यहाँ पर जो नौजवान नस्ल है खुसूसी, और ख़ास तौर पर जो नए पैदा होने वाले बच्चे हैं वो किन किन डिफॉर्मिटीज़ के साथ पैदा हो रहे हैं। तो दाऊद से बात करेंगे, डॉक्टर दाऊद से, कि क्या कहते हैं वो इस बारे में। वेलकम टू डॉन न्यूज़ डॉक्टर दाऊद, कुड यू टेल अस द रिसर्च यू हैव डन? For example, how do you see what kind of weapons have been used by the American troops while fighting the Taliban in especially this part of the Afghanistan?
Thank you very much for having me in this program. Since 2001, when the US forces and NATO invaded Afghanistan, they have initiated the weapon systems that they initially used in Iraq in 1991, and then of course in Kosovo, but the new generation of these weapons were being used in Afghanistan. These were uranium munitions. These are actually uranium alloys actually utilized at various levels. Some of them they called bunker buster bombs that penetrates the ground and then it explodes, as well as projectiles from A-10 Warthog planes, as well as from AC-130 gunships and Apache helicopters, as well as Bradley vehicles. They use this liberally, and they have infested large areas of Afghanistan. Initially, all this transpired when the Americans started bombing raids all over Afghanistan. Various victims without physical injuries would expire immediately, would have inhalation problems or various musculoskeletal problems and other problems that would affect their bodies. And that kind of posed the question as to what is going on.
How we are going to prove that perhaps this kind of weapons have created disformities, or they have affected the human body, or they have affected the environment, or the ecosystem?
Issue is this, that initially these anomalies, the various conditions that emerged, posed the question, various research posed the question as to what's going on, because people had experiences in Iraq as well as in Kosovo, in former Yugoslavia, and a research group from the Uranium Medical Research Center from Canada came to Afghanistan. They had 2 consecutive trips. Actually, initially 2 consecutive trips followed by several other trips, and what they had done is they took soil sample, urine sample of people, and they were sent to the British Geological Survey. What they found was astonishing. The uranium isotopes in the urine of people were significantly higher than the normal acceptable level. The normal acceptable level is 10 nanogram, but the Afghan population had the uranium isotopes level ranging from 300 nanogram to 2000 nanogram, which means 300 to 2000% higher than normal. And equally, the various illnesses and various bizarre conditions that followed the bombing raids, and early on, even in 2003, 2004, and 5, and of course went higher exponentially, compelled us to come here and do qualitative data search, qualitative research. Qualitative research in the sense that we went to various areas and asked individuals of the various illnesses that are emerging, as well as the various conditions from which people were dying and the congenital deformities and whatnot. And what we found was significant rise in the congenital deformities, cancers, leukemia, and various other conditions.
Thank you, Dr. Dawood Mirakai. جیسے ہم نے بات کی ڈاکٹر داؤد سے، ان کا یہی کہنا ہے کہ یہاں پہ افغانستان کے لوگ جنگ سے تو متاثر ہوئے ہی ہیں، لیکن اس قسم کے اسلحے کے استعمال سے جو کہ ڈاکٹر داؤد کے بقول جو ہے جنیوا کنونشن کی بھی خلاف ورزی ہے، اس کے علاوہ ویپن آف ماس ڈسٹرکشن کی جو تعریف ہے اس کے مطابق بھی یہ انسانیت کی تباہی کے لیے استعمال کیے گئے ہیں. اور جیسے انہوں نے کہا کہ باقاعدہ طور پر وہ جو ہے وہ امریکہ کے خلاف جو ہے وہ جنگی جرائم کا مقدمہ بھی کر چکے ہیں، اور ان کا یہی کہنا ہے کہ اس قسم کے جو ہتھیاروں کا استعمال ہے وہ انسانیت اور اس کے علاوہ جو بڑے پیمانے پر انسانیت کی جینوسائیڈ کے برابر ہے. لہٰذا ان کا کہنا یہی ہے کہ اس کو جان بوجھ کر اس خطے میں استعمال کرنے کے امریکی اپنے مقاصد ہیں. بہرحال یہ دعوے ہیں. جیسے آپ نے یہ تصویریں بھی دیکھی، اس سے یہ اندازہ ہوتا ہے کہ جنگ کی تباہ کاری جتنی زیادہ ہے اتنی نظر جو ہے. ڈون نیوز ڈاکٹر داؤد, which areas perhaps you feel are most affected and the most probable deformities which you have come across through research or such kind of things? What do you suggest, and what kind of things, and which areas are mostly affected by this thing?
Unfortunately, all the areas that are affected are Pashtun provinces. They have used these weapons in Pashtun areas liberally. The initial bombing that took place in Tora Bora, the significant operation that took place in Tora Bora, in Shahi Kot, and other areas, they have used the various new generations of weapons. But the issue is this: these weapons do not discriminate. What I mean by that is, when they hit target, they pulverize. When they pulverize, they are susceptible to wind flow as well as water currents, and it spreads it toward Afghanistan, but also it takes it to the neighboring countries, such as Pakistan. The water flow to Pakistan, these isotopes gets into the water flow that goes into Pakistan, as well as to the food chain. And unexpectedly, sudden rises in cancers, adult leukemia, congenital deformities that defies probability, as well as rise in diabetes, rise in other conditions, skin lesions, and spontaneous abortions among humans and animals.
So what do you think, what was the main reason behind experimenting this thing here? Whether they could not take over the Taliban with normal weapons, that they are going for specific weapons? And don't you think that it's a war crime to use such kind of weapons?
Indeed. You see, the use of these weapons initially in Iraq were to impress the world of the capability of the United States to devastate any mechanized army. You see, if you look at the highway of death from Basra to Iraq, over 100,000 soldiers were being killed. Entire tank brigades were eliminated. The effective use of these weapons, because American Abrams tanks have these solid uranium alloys in these projectiles. Once they hit the target, they destroy the target, and it ignites fire within. It totally incinerates the target itself. So it was, in my opinion, kind of a show-off, if you will. But fundamentally, the aim was that they wanted to have the people. This is at least on the surface an explanation. What the Americans do is, these uranium byproduct that is being left from the conversion of weapons, as well as the conversion of uranium in the utility of, in the production of electricity, in order to store these depleted uranium and others, it would cost them billions and billions upon dollars. The easy way to get rid of them, turn them into weapons. It's virtually cheap to the manufacturers, virtually free to the manufacturers.
So don't you think that they are resorting to human genocide, and perhaps they should be tried for some kind of war crimes?
Actually, there was an international war crime tribunal in Japan in 2004. I was one of the main witnesses against George W. Bush. Based on the evidences we have provided, based on the evidence that we have marshaled over there.
Thank you, Dr. Dawood Mirakai. Welcome to Dawn News, Dr. Dawood. So why the World Human Rights Organizations and the perhaps what we see that they are always calling for rights and especially the human rights. So where are they?
The issue is this. All global organizations that advocate rights, these are foreign policy tools of the big powers. You see, this is not conspiracy, that's facts. These organizations get their funding from the US, from UK, and other global powers. In order for them to have their agenda advocated, their agenda utilized, and propel certain policy changes in the respective enclaves of third world, they resort to the notion of human rights, women's rights, this right and that right. But the issue is, pardon me, the issue is this: they would not touch this issue. I called the WHO, I have contacted UNDP, various organizations, journalists, the Doctors Without Borders and whatnot. All of them, they say, oh, that's quite tragic, but this is controversial. Well, I have news for you. This controversy has been costing Afghan lives. And this has a half-life. Uranium-238, which is an isotope of uranium, has a half-life of 4.5 billion years. So it takes 4.5 billion years to become a half-week. Still, half of them will be there. So until Earth exists, the Afghan people will be dying from this, giving birth to deformed children, in cancers, in multiple cancers in one individual.
What should be done, for example, like in such a situation, what can ordinary people do, what can the rights organization do, and what can you do, for example?
Unfortunately, there isn't much anybody can do. What I mean by that is, I wish that these weapons could be, had there been conventional weapons, you could identify weapon parts and remove them and clean the areas. But unfortunately, these weapons pulverize, I said, turn into dust. And they turn into dust, they're susceptible to wind flow. It's everywhere. And the issue is this, that there is no solution to it, except people can take, supplements, natural supplements of some sort to contribute to their longevity. And so this tragedy is one of the hallmarks of human tragedies imposed on people by a superpower that utilizes and uses the concoction of human rights and utilizes this pretext and falsehood of human rights and institutes total genocide of a people that stands into their progress. You see, the Pashtun people are specifically targeted because the only ethnic group on the planet that does not accept outsiders with guns. And so their long-term strategy is this: the China in the next 50 years is going to be moving toward Euro-Asia, and they want to be in position to serve as a hurdle in their progress. And Afghanistan is an ideal place because it is situated right at the angle next to China, as well as in fact, the collaboration of the United States, of former Soviet Union with the United States, wholeheartedly points to the common goal that China needs to be contained. But the issue is this: whatever happens in the future, it is not my domain. Whatever happens now, it is my concern.
Thank you, Dr. Dawood Mirakai.
जी नाज़रीन, आप देख रहे थे पेशावर ब्यूरो चीफ ज़ाहिर शाह शिराजी की काबुल में डॉक्टर दाऊद मीराकई के साथ खुसूसी गुफ्तगू। अब तक के लिए इतना ही। मैं हूं लैला खालिद। मजीद खबर और अपडेट ऑन न्यूज़।